Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Grand Wizard Bukake, your host. Having saved some Anyns on the road, our heroes were reunited with Goblin Jr. Juniper was pleased to meet some other sheriffs. Quinny convinced the people they rescued they weren't here to rob them, and Butthole forgot about everything else when Goblin Jr. reappeared. What will happen now they're in a town where everyone calls themselves an Annan? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
Few creatures in the history of Dumb Faerun have been as overjoyed as Goblin Jr., the snarfy wolf, is to discover his old master, best friend, and soulmate, Butthole Farch, is alive. Goblin Jr. is atop you, Butthole. You're looking his face, he's looking your face, and it's just an overpouring joy from both of you. It's a moment of rare, pure goodness in this world. What do you do?
I think after they've had a long bit, he's not going to let Goblin Jr. go. So I think when he goes to walk into the building, he'll stand up and kind of like pick up Goblin Jr. and let Goblin Jr. like rest his legs on his shoulders so Goblin Jr. can see where they're walking, but he'll like hold him with both hands and he'll just walk him in with him.
Great. You walk in and inside, kind of like holding a bow at the door is Dexter, and he just kind of like lowers it and he goes, well, I'm really glad it was you guys. I was pretty ready to shoot someone. Welcome to the town. You're alive. That's nice. Welcome. How are the rest of you doing?
How are the rest of you doing? What happened to the caravan?
Oh yeah, to catch you up on us real quick. So I went to another dimension.
Hang on. The sheriff's gonna want to hear this. You can tell me, but then you'll just have to tell her, and I'll probably have to listen to it again. And I don't much care for that. So come this way. And then he just yells, "Hey, Anyn tracks, get out here. There's some people you'll want to see." And out of sort of one of the side rooms, Tracks in the Sand comes. And he is fucking bundled. He is wearing like several coats. You can tell as someone who's used to temperate climates, he is a chilly kitty. And he's just like, "Oh, hey, oh, holy shit. Welcome. Wow, this is fucking great." Yeah, Dexter, hi. You could have just said, okay, I'm so sorry. Yeah, come on in, guys. Come on.
What happened? Quinny's still like...
He's like, "Well, listen, I want to hear it, but she's going to want to hear it too. So come this way. Everybody, they're cool. They're cool. Just don't shoot them. Okay? They're Annan too." And he gives kind of like a really apologetic look to the three of you, just being like, "I'm so sorry about this." Then he flags you through. And together with Dexter, the 3.5 of you make your way deeper into this building. The town appears to be an old trading post, and you can see that there are sort of and admittedly sparsely now, I guess, hung coats, warm gear. You can see it's almost like think like almost a textile mill. Like clearly this was a place where trappers and hunters would bring furs and they'd be converted into winter wear. So there's just kind of a lot of there would have been a lot of winter provisions hung around here. That said, it's been very picked over, and you can tell from the way everyone's bundled up that clearly the town has made use of whatever is here. So you're brought through this kind of essentially abandoned trading post / garment factory up to the second floor to an office where Dexter, again, just kind of like hanging back, looking a little salty, lets Tracks go up and knock. And the door swings open, and Anyn strides out, wearing a heavy leather jacket with a barbed wire wrapped baseball bat over her shoulder. And as soon as she sees you, she's just like, "Oh, thank the gods, I can stop this. Okay, great." She just like throws the baseball bat away. She's like, "Oh, okay. All right. Hey, Sir, you're alive? And she looks to you, Butthole.
Oh, yeah, I'm alive, and guess what I got for you? It's not what you expected, but it's different, but it's good. And he'll just reach into his tummy bag and pull out Yevgenovich and be like, we're going to sort out the body in a bit, but it's Yevgenovich.
And she looks at you, and it's like, you're, of course, 100% earnest, not a character who winks at the camera. She looks at this hat, and she looks at you, and throughout all of her adventures with you and all of your weird merchandising schemes, and also having to deal with, like, essentially two completely different personalities, she's really worried that you have just imbued this hat with kind of an idea of Yevgenovich. So there's a little bit of, oh.
If I may.
Yep.
I feel like Quinny provides a sort of barometer for Annan in these moments.
Yes,
a lot of the time.
100%.
So I think oh, very nice, Butthole. Yes, lovely. Hello, Yevgenovich. And she her eye comes over to like me, and I'm like, it's legit. Like, yeah, he did it.
And suddenly, like, her entire countenance changes, and not really knowing what else to do, she just kind of like puts on the hat.
It's got the eyes, she could see those.
Yeah, but I mean, also, she's not sure. She thinks this might be weird bullshit. The veil falls across her face. And suddenly out of her mouth, her whole body kind of undulates. And out of her mouth, you just hear, yeah, it's me. Yevgenovich, I'm back. I came back, honey. I heard we had a baby.
And then how that works?
Takes the hat off and goes, well... and then she looks up at you, Butthole, and almost like it's like her face shatters. She just bursts into tears, and she just runs at you and throws her arms around you and Goblin Jr. and kind of like, a tiny halfling bear hug.
Yeah, she gets scooped in the other arm, so he's carrying two of them now.
And even though she's clearly like weeping, her voice remains completely level in a way only someone who started their career in like hospitality can do. She just says, "Thank you, sir. This is very nice." And then she steps away and she looks at the hat and she says, "Honey, I want you to come meet Bert." And then she puts the hat on and walks back into her office. And as she does so, you hear kind of the cry of a baby, and then a bunch of like Yevgenovich yelling, and then her kind of like, she's clearly like almost doing like a fucking like routine with the hat so she can talk. And so I'm like, yeah, I named him something in your tongue, but it was too confusing. So I've just started calling him Bert. Like, oh, that's a great name. I think he looks fantastic. Yeah, I know. Listen, this is a good one. And then a sort of a sallow figure steps out of the office and closes the door behind him. He's a sort of a pale guy, almost skin and bones, wearing a robe, deep rings under his eyes, and sort of stringy hair down, and he just says, yeah, all right, we'll just let them have a moment. And you recognize an exhausted and beaten down Mosifus Dirt, who looks up at you and smiles in kind of like a sad, like, it's a sad smile. And he just says, oh, it's very good to see you all. It's very good you all survived. Welcome to the town. We are Annan and such.
Why are you so sad? It seems like something's really wrong. And he'll just put Goblin Jr. down now because
Goblin Jr. like drops to all fours and like nods at you. Mo just looks up at you all and says, it's been quite a time trying to keep all the zombies and the frosty spritey guys away. Winter's a bitch. Can I get you something to drink? I'm afraid I don't really have many recipes. I haven't been able to reach the great Cornholio in some time. Did you guys see him while you were down in hell?
I mean, not that I'm aware of, but things were kind of rough down there. Do you want a drink? Because I've got this beer stein that just keeps refilling with beer.
Yeah, honestly, man, that would be a real good help. It's been a lot.
Take this for a bit, man. And he'll just like give it to him and be like, you feel like you need that for a minute. And I'm just going to check in with my friends here for a second. And he like circles Juniper. And he
takes it and like chugs it and then just like hits it against the wall. And it refills. It's kind of like falling out. But he's just like, oh, cool. I get this. And he drinks it and he slams it against the wall.
He pulls him in a little bit closer, and then Goblin Jr. knees him in the back of the knee, and he's like, oh, yeah, get in here.
And then he jumps up on my lap. Please.
Sure, we'll allow that.
Yeah.
Please,
that makes
thank
sense.
you.
And it's okay. So, did anybody actually see the Cornholio when we were in hell?
No, didn't you come from a place of dead gods with Moonhammer? Do you see him there? Because he was not in hell when we went through.
I don't think Cornholio was a god. Was Cornholio? Mercedes, was Cornholio a god?
Oh no, he was my patron. A cool guy. I miss him.
Okay,
this is helping though.
He was just a demon.
So what then? He's up here on the surface with all the other evacuees of hell?
Possibility 2, he got killed and disappeared because there was a war and it was very bad. Possibility 3, he was sworn to Manny and thus was absorbed by Moonhammer when she left the dimension when Manny was defeated because we included that in the contract.
Yeah, I mean, I was not getting sworn to Manny vibes before. He was helping me find the guy, track him down, acting against him.
Okay. So either dead or stuck in some body up here working for my parents.
That's my guess.
Juniper, any thoughts?
Honestly, no.
Okay, well, here's the thing. We've got a 50-50 option, and there's only one person who can answer this question. So Butthole takes a knee. And he prays as hard as he can.
And Ryan flips a coin.
Actually, in this case, you don't. Because logistically, Moonhammer has left this dimension and can no longer answer your prayers. That said, as the aspect of Moonhammer now in this dimension, you can answer your prayers. So this falls under now a wisdom or an insight. Maybe we'll say insight, because this is just, as it has often been, you just kind of be like, pray to Moonhammer. But Moonhammer's not going to answer. This is just you going, it's this, except this time it's literally because the will of Moonhammer flows through you.
Because I am attuned with the universe. So the signals coming in just have a basis now. Because I don't think Moonhammer even
You're basically just a self-regulating system now. Yeah. I don't think Butthole acknowledges that, but like you're just following your own heart and instinct.
It's a spiritual autofillating that's going on.
Well, Tom, it's a nat 20, and my insight is plus 10. So it's a nat 20, but I technically rolled a 30.
So you take a knee and you start praying. What happens next is a shock to you and all involved. As you watch Butthole do his usual prayer to Moonhammer, as he's like to do. And suddenly, just a scent hits your olfactory senses. Just a proper, silent but deadly smell. And as you kind of recoil a little bit, all of you, at this foul stench, when you look back up, you realize that Butthole is no longer on his knee. He is in fact floating with hammer hands pressed together. Glowing with bright golden light. And Butthole, you receive the answer that, and this is kind of a weird meta thing that I need you as a player to determine, but like you get the answer Butthole wanted the most. Because you're praying to yourself. And to Tyler's point about autofillating, you're just kind of like, it's just confirming what your instinct is because it's just coming from you. And as soon as you realize it, you open your eyes, drop to the ground, immediately like your beard shrinks back up from its like long golden Moonhammer length. A beard shrinks back up, hands immediately morph back into hands. when you open your eyes, everything is normal, but everyone has seen you in your true aspect.
Yeah,
of
I was going to say
Moonhammer.
the beard had actually grown down and shaped itself into Moonhammer's boobs. And then when it went back away,
amazing.
they went away.
You truly became the butt hammer for a moment, and now you have returned. But of course, you saw none of this. So for you, you just had a good prayer. And Goblin
which
Jr.
is
ain't
great,
saying
'cause
shit. Because
For anyone who's ever wondered how the snap prayers work, basically I roll a d6, and on a 4+, it's whatever Butthole wanted. On a 1 to 3, it's the opposite. So in this case, it could only mean he passed this test. He's like, oh, Mosifius, Cornholio is nearby, and we can get him. He's on this earth, possessed into something, but we can get him. He's near. Whatever our next step is, we're going to get you back your patron.
We can put you in touch with Cornholio today.
what will it take to put you in a new deal with a demon today? Look, all I need is your credit card, and we'll sign you up for a year. If you want to cancel within 7 days, totally fine. You just have to call this number that might be busy. It's fine.
I've never been more sure about anything. Something that is going on with Cornholio is put him close, and we're going to be able to free him, and it's going to be important.
Mo comes over and with, again, kind of like thin, spindly arms and no sense of the kind of like happy-go-lucky joy you've seen. He just kind of almost stumbles into you and throws weak arms around you. Getting a lot of hugs today. And he just says, thank you. That's the first sign of hope I've had in a while. I've been keeping the town safe, but no one was keeping my heart safe. But it sounds like you are. So thanks, man. I'll mix you up a cool cocktail when I have recipes again. Till then, do you want some of this beer you gave me? And he just holds out the mug that you gave him. It's half full. He's clearly been drinking this a lot.
Sure, I'll share with him. He's just not going to be rude about it. He's like, it's just.
Thank you. I miss being able to provide for people, though I've been doing my best. I gotta say, though, without a patron, it's real rough. It's
in
real
the
rough.
meantime, I know you're looking for your demonic patron, but if you want a patron in this realm, I'm Butthole Farch, the leader of House Farch, and right now, our house doesn't have a brewmaster or a mixologist.
Go on.
So what if we were to name you to House Farch and you could create magnificent beers and other cocktails for an entire house that is going to retake a car?
Yeah, man, I could fuck with that. But you should probably talk to Annan first. Just make sure everything's cool with the town and such. We've been holding out here as best we can, but I think if I turn my attention to something other than keeping all the wind spirits and shit away, I think we're all just gonna die. So if you've got another plan for that, cool. Also, I could really use a nap. I've been sleeping an hour a day at best to keep all the wards and stuff up.
Okay, well, why don't you go talk to Bucky, who's outside, and maybe he could take over the wards for a little bit so you can take a nap.
Okay, wait, is he like good again? We got a good Bucky, or is he working for the one we don't talk about?
The one that we have is the good one, but the one that we don't talk about.
Oh no, I mean, the guy
back.
with.
He's back, Mo. He's back.
Oh, okay.
Bucky is back.
So you got him free from the one of several visages.
One of many faces is dead.
Wait, what?
Yeah, man, he's gone.
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good news. And then he runs over and hugs you.
And I'll just rigidly accept it. Just not reciprocated, but not like pushing him off of me.
And he's just like, oh, fuck, that's so cool. Oh, that's great. Wish I could tell the great Cornholio about it. He kept interfering with our phone calls and stuff. I just miss him.
I mean, you'll be able to tell the great Cornholio soon because Juniper also is going to help save him. And Butthole's just clearly trying to get Juniper a hug out of this, like, everyone gets hugs for doing good work.
And he turns and looks at you, Juniper. He's like, oh, dude, really?
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, you're like the strongest person I know. If you're going to help, then I'm sure it's going to work out. And he just goes over and like hugs you and like Goblin Jr. is kind of like shuffled to the side, but like he gets it. So he just kind of like puts a paw up. And like you can tell that Goblin Jr. has been doing a lot of like comfort animaling for Mosifus this whole time. So it's just like a pat on the back. And then he just kind of gives you a look, Juniper, of like, thank you for helping with this. He's like,
I'm glad that
snarf.
he, kind of cut me off, because I was just going to say we're going to try to save everyone.
That's fine too.
If it's Cornholio gets in there, great.
And he's like, oh, that's cool, man. No, that's great. That's great. Yeah, it's just nice to have friends. And so he kind of like, you can tell it's like a huge struggle for him to get up off the chair from hugging you, from kind of like getting down. And yeah, you can see like now that like you're looking at him and how kind of bedraggled he is, like it's clear that everyone here is malnourished and kind of like in rough shape. It's hard to tell with Dexter because he's just kind of got like ropey, angry old man muscle, and with Trax he's a cat, so like there's fur and such. But looking at like as you look around, you can tell that everyone here is clearly like this is a place on its last legs, as outposts go.
So before they have their discussion with Annan, that's definitely closing in, I think Butthole would look around and be like, is Leanne here? The Alliance Shield?
And Dexter's like, oh yeah. Yeah, how do you think we got all these fancy coats? She's downstairs.
Oh,
yeah,
good. Okay,
we all
can say
came here after all those undead assholes started walking around. We all tried to find somewhere we could hide out. We found this place.
All right. And then Butthole would look around. Are there any mannequins that can be seen, Tom?
Yeah, sure. You're kind of on the the bottom floor is the manufacturing and sales floor. This is kind of the design and workshop floor. So yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. And
they're like bleak mannequins. Like these are old, kind of like spooky mannequins.
The mannequins are posed like as to be huddled. The mannequins are posed to be very downtrodden and morose.
Yeah, I think
one mannequin is on its knees with its hands raised.
Yeah, another one is just like listening to 9 Inch Nails with a tear running down his cheek.
All the mannequins are in bad shape.
I think Butthole will be like, all right, so we got to go talk to Annan, and he'll just go over and scoop up one of the mannequins and just walk into the room with it to go talk to Annan.
Cool. So you walk in to find Anyn taking off the leather jacket and just kind of like dumping it on a table. There is a small blue baby playing with a hat in a crib. She's clearly got, like, you can see there are a number of, as you'd expect from Anyn, meticulous records set up over the table, and you can see it's like rations and everything is fucking bad. She just kind of turns around and you can see she's got sunken cheeks and she's a little hardier than the rest of the town. You get the sense that's not necessarily because of leadership, but because she's also feeding a baby. So it seems like people have been like, you know, kicking her extra rations, but she still looks kind of rough. And she just says, it is, I can't believe I'm going to say this, so good to see you and to have you back in my life, Butthole. I think I owe you an apology, not just from the Plantier thing, because I think that was, and she gives you kind of like a look that you're very familiar with of frustrated Annan, of like somewhat justified, but you really did come through for us, and I don't think I ever took into account how safe you kept everyone until I was put in that position. I had to like get everyone to say they were, I had to create this whole dumb thing. It was exhausting. I hate it. I hate it so much. I can't fathom how you've managed to do this for so long. That whole Forsaken thing makes so much more sense. That's why I wrapped a baseball bat in barbed wire. I thought it'd be kind of spooky if I did it.
Yeah, you looked hardcore.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I weirdly, I learned it from you. I reread the book and it helped. So thank you, both to you and the Forsaken, wherever he lives inside you now. Welcome back. I'm sorry we couldn't greet you with more than this.
I'm sorry that we couldn't be here to have helped with all this. You did a great job. We're going to have to look at like a promotion for you. You legitimately might need to be like a general or something in the house after all the stuff you've done here.
Cool. I mean, like, we are Annan, right? We are.
Yeah, don't worry. We can make that work for you in like a way that won't completely drive you crazy.
Oh, that's great.
I brought a mannequin because the hat could make you talk. If we put the hat on this, do you think Yevgenovich could walk around on his own?
And she looks at the mannequin. She's like, we can try. So you go and take the how does actually, this is a good question, because how is Butthole with babies? Because you've got like,
how does Butthole steal a hat from a baby?
Yeah, honestly, like Bert is like chewing on the side of the hat when you come over.
I think because he wants the hat. What do I have in my just let me take a look at my little spell list here. Because I think he likes babies, but he wouldn't want to steal from one because that
you're
would
looking for like hat Jesus, I can't even say that in the best of times. Prestidigitation. No, I get
Prestidigitation.
No. Yeah, what Tyler said, but with hats. There you go. Thank you. Yes, that's what I wanted. That's got to be in Tasha's cauldron of everything, right?
I think what he would do is he would cast a spiritual hammer, and then he would treat it like a little rattle in his hand, and then he would offer the glowing hammer to the baby, so the baby could play with the spiritual hammer.
I mean, like, this is Yevgenovich's child, so yeah. Are you kidding? Something destructive that he doesn't fully understand? He's all in on that. So he grabs it, and as his tiny hand grasps it, it makes him fart, and he laughs, and he holds up the hammer, and then he starts like sucking on the hammer, and he pats the hat and then offers it to you.
Oh, thank you very much. And then I'll take the hat, and then I will put it on the mannequin.
Trying to figure out whether this is a you roll or a me roll. Can you roll an Arcana or a Religion?
I mean, I can. Just a second.
Let's go with Arcana. I don't think Moonhammer has tenants for making mannequins move.
That's a 3.
Cool. You place it on the mannequin, like it's like an Indiana Jones, like switching the idol thing. It's very, full of pomp and circumstance. And you step back, and then the mannequin just falls over.
Well, it was a good try. Do you know what? We'll just wait until we find somebody really bad who we'd normally sentence to death, and then we'll just put the hat on him, and Yevgenovich gets their body.
And Annan's eyes kind of go wide. She goes, "Oh, wait. Kron can help. He, I mean, if we can find him, we knew what, King Quinny, just Quinny now. I'm sorry, Quinny. I'm not sure what your title is these days.
I don't know if I'm here or not.
Yeah, you're here.
We all came down. Okay.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, he went into the office. Would the rest of you have followed, or
I wasn't sure if that was like a personal moment. So I was just easing back to
no.
see what was going on.
It would have been implied, like he wouldn't have closed the door behind him. It would have been clear that everybody could come, but you may not have. I don't know.
It's up to you then.
No, I'll go. I don't want to get hugged again, so I'll go.
Juniper, would you have gone, or would you have stayed outside?
No, I'd have gone. I want to know what's going on, and even Butthole draws strange conclusions from things. So
always worth keeping an eye on that. Okay, so you're all in the office then, she just kind of looks apologetically to you, Quinny.
Quinny's fine. Quinny's great, actually. This guy over here is the king of a cow. Always was, always will be.
All right. Well, just Quinny then. When you left, we had been looking into ways to create a, for lack of better term, Franken-Quinny body for Mr. Farch if we ever managed to retrieve him.
Yep, I remember that was the plan. Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. Kron got quite excited about the prospect of being able to stitch together such a complex organism. So he went off in search of parts. Unfortunately, we lost contact with him. He hasn't returned in several days, but he had left in search of things. He may have pieced together something for you that I can't believe I'm saying this, could use for my love to bring him back. Oh, no.
Well, that's good, because my fallback idea was putting the hat on the pig.
That may be a better option. We'll have to see what Kron made. Between you and me, I hated that you made that strange body, but I think you may have had a better idea of what anatomy is than the half-mad experimental necromancer wizard we found. So who knows? But if we've been worried about him, we haven't been able to send anyone to look for him because, we're all vaguely starving to death. But B, if you can make contact with him, he may have an option for us here. Honestly, at this point, we have Yevgenovich in a hat, which is kind of an improvement in a lot of ways. He can destroy less things this way. For now, I'm not in any hurry. I'm glad he's back, but not in any hurry, So let's see if we can find Kron. He might have a body, but at the very least, and you can tell she just fucking hates this. She's like, he's our friend and we have to save him. She just looks to Quinny with who are we? What have we become? Who are we that we talk like this now?
Yeah, I don't know. It sickens me.
And she just looks back to Butthole being like, so I guess find Kron and go from there.
Okay, yeah. So we can find Kron and then stabilize things here and then find a fortress. That's step 1, 2, 3.
Realistically, if we're going to be fighting undead, probably having a necrotist on our side might be helpful.
Yeah, honestly, Kron's got maybe some more utility than we originally had in mind for him.
Yeah, I gotta say, guys, this the town, as we've been calling it, is on its last legs. We were very lucky to find this trading outpost. Unfortunately, at first we thought the dead had found it, but and she kind of brings you out onto the floor, and she kind of gives you it's a classic Sorkin walk and talk as she takes you around, but she points to deep entrenched claw marks on the walls of this place. As well as blood that's been scrubbed badly off of walls and floors. She said, at first we thought the dead had found this place before us, but these marks don't correspond to, she kind of holds up her little halfling hand up to the wall and kind of rakes her hands across it. And it clearly isn't a match. It's much larger. So it's, something larger than this did this. And happily they left before we found it, but there's something else out there. There are many things out there. The Icewind Dale is much more dangerous than we thought. We didn't quite realize how far north we'd wandered, but there are things out there in the snow that are far more dangerous than the undead. Whatever was here has left, but we know it's out there somewhere, and it made short work of the traders who lived here. Luckily, we have managed to find some other people who were looking for a safe haven, but we're running low on food, and this factory is indefensible. If we stay here, we'll die. And I've kept that kind of off the table for a while, as much as I can, but the writing and the claw marks are on the wall. We need somewhere safer to move, but if you can find us somewhere, once you've found an option for us, we'll happily pull up and move in there. But yes, we need a fortress of some sort, somewhere safe. And between the dead and the horrors of the ice, we're kind of fucked.
Quinny, Juniper, do either of you know about this Icewind Dale place? Do you know anything about it?
I have a feeling Quinny doesn't. Growing up on a farm and then living in cities, probably virtually no information.
Yeah, you know about it. Would seem like an Antarctica to you, just it exists. It's cold, whatever.
The snow place. Yeah. Penguins and polar bears probably both live there because I don't know about North Pole and South Pole.
And I'm guessing I probably didn't venture that far. Right?
No. I mean, in your search for answers about the Great Collide, you likely would have ended up there eventually if the scroll led you there, or if you thought there were leads there.
Yeah.
But realistically, there's no reason, right? Again, it's a remote, like the spine of the world is a famous mountain range. Icewind Dale is known, but it's not somewhere you would just kind of find yourself by accident. And Butthole, growing up in a Ka and then kind of cutting southwest into kind of Faerun proper, I don't think Greywater deals much up here. There would likely be mercenary companies up here, but it's the kind of thing where it's like, it's Arctic warfare. You don't really, like, regular, like, temperate climate people aren't gonna be like, sure, fuck it. Just strap on a coat, we'll be fine. You know, it's like Hitler trying to invade Russia, where it's just like, it's cool, we'll just go up there. And Russia's like, it is cold. You are fucked.
Okay, so
you're aware it exists, but you don't have much information on it.
So we all know jack shit. Okay, well, I can go talk to Leanna about getting a coat because I gave my farch one to Bucky, and then we can go search for Kron, unless anybody else has any other burning questions.
Just Anyn, it seems like you're kind of like the de facto leader around here. Any intel on potential places for you folks to move to, or were you coming up with nothing so far?
She sort of like gestures to the table of documents and says, we've scouted as far as we can safely. Kron has ventured further out than any of us, largely because we couldn't really stop him. So he also seemed as though his magic gave him a little bit of an edge that most of us didn't have. Mosifus, can't believe I'm saying this. Mosifus dirt has proved to be the most useful of all of us. His wards have kept the worst of the ice creatures away from us at night, and we've managed to repel the undead just with conventional weapons to this point. But Kron, before he left, spoke of a legend that he knew of the. He said that his mentor was aware of a space, what he called a dead zone or bastion in the spine of the world. As you know, Kron isn't exactly the most straightforward fellow, but he spoke of the legend of Duke Thane. And of his keep, of his bastion of failure, as he called it, something that his mentor told him about long ago. I know he spoke very openly about wanting to find more body parts to help make a Franken butthole, but I always suspected that he was actually trying to find this bastion, that he was embarrassed and knew how hopeless it sounded. But I think that's what he sought out when he left. So if you can find him, he may actually have more information, or at least a lead on where this place is. But between you and me, I think he viewed it as our last hope.
A place where your people here could potentially survive.
Potentially, but he spoke of it as a tall tale told to him third hand by a mentor. So
great. So a place people have only heard about in legends that no one's ever been to is the place that you guys might have a shot at surviving this winter hellscape. Is that about right?
She kind of laughs and she says, listen, no, man, here's where we thought we might be able to survive as long as we could. I don't put any fucking stock in any of that. All but right. When he ventured out into the wilds, I think that's what he was trying to find.
Okay.
Quinny, you sound really negative about legendary places that no one's ever been, where people can go to hide and change, but we just came back from hell where we killed the demon in charge. And you know what? I think some invisible castle sounds like a little bit of a cakewalk for us. Am I right? Nothing ever goes wrong. Now we're together.
Snarf.
I'm just want to make sure I got it right. And it's not just a matter of like, oh yeah, no, I know exactly where this place is. I just wanted to make sure no one knows where it is. So, okay, we're working with that.
Yeah. We're working to find Kron, who might have some idea based on the childhood nursery rhyme he was told by a crazy man who taught him to sew bodies together. Yeah, it's going to go great.
Negative.
No. I'm excited.
Well, so I mean, do we have a direction to go in? Like which way did Kron go?
She just kind of sighs and says, because fucking of course he did. He went north into the storm.
Fucking of course he did.
Of course he did.
But I thought you wanted somewhere warmer.
And she kind of smiles sadly and says, Juniper, our scouts have gone in every direction. All we know is that the mountains are north of here. They've walked south for several days and found nothing but cold. We're kind of stuck here. Wherever you think you came from, if you just go back that way, you'll find nothing but ice and snow and devils in the dark. As I said, we're well and truly fucked.
Okay.
Unless, and she rolls her eyes to the sky, unless you can find Kron.
Okay, so it's time to find Kron with my chief privateer and... So you're a sheriff, right, Juniper?
Well,
You're sheriff now?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, your hand and sheriff.
Yeah, I mean, you're my head, but there's also this other title that exists in houses, which is Chief Justice. So you could stay my hand, or if you're feeling more like lawgivery, we could make you my Chief Justice.
Well, I mean, what? I mean, I guess I know. I mean, I know right and wrong, and I know the law around Tomb Slab.
What was that? How did that law work?
I mean, basically, bad guys got dealt with, essentially.
I mean, that sounds pretty good to me, so I'm happy with that.
Pretty cut and dry.
I feel like in Butthole's head, it means like they all go to jail, but if they're like slavers or whatever, they get murdered. But I don't think he's the kind of guy who would ask follow-up questions. He just assumed she was correct.
That's
you know him.
Right.
He assumes everyone's on his wavelength.
Yeah, I mean, if the position needs to be filled, I'll take it until a more worthy, knowledgeable candidate can put their hat in the ring.
Okay, congratulations. You're going to be Chief Justice, and Anyn, you're promoted to hand, which means when I'm not around, you're in charge. Okay, so I need to get a coat. Does anybody else need anything while I get a coat?
A law degree?
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Elizabeth at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons logo is by Decapitated Markers at Decapitated Marker on Twitter. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christian Menicola, the Half-Blind Prophet, Christopher Little, Sue One, George Dolby, One True Artistry, Orion Birchfield, Lorda Bradovic, Noel Lewis, Scott Garland, Anthony Griffin, Jordan Neesmith, Benjamin V, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Cade Peters, Richard Cranium, Anna Zed, Eric Williams, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Acrix, Cameron Ezel, Grandma Likes D&D, Austin Nut Powers Fry, Stabby Stranger, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.